Digital nomad visas are becoming increasingly popular as the world learns the value of remote work. Countries like Estonia initially paved the way for these visas, but now we are seeing them in every corner of the globe. Hello, I'm Jovana Vojinovic, Director of Operations here at Nomad Capitalist, where we serve 7- and 8-figure entrepreneurs to go where they are treated the best. And today, we'll be speaking about how some of them are using digital nomad visas to increase their mobility, reduce their taxes, whether that is for them, their children, or their employees. A notable trend this year is the immigration of digital nomads from Southeast Asia to Europe, Central America, and Caribbean islands. Thailand and Indonesia were the most popular destination for digital nomads for many years due to their low cost of living, high internet speed, attractive tax structure, and sizable expert networks. However, while waiting for Thailand and Indonesia to reopen, because both countries were still requiring additional certificates to get in, a number of digital nomads decided to seek alternatives with more liberal policies, but with the same amenities. So we can say that as a result of COVID, the number of digital nomads and remote workers in general is growing. And at the same time, several nations realize the potential of digital nomads and their contribution to the economy. So they decided to implement programs that are tailored specifically for them. Even some of the most advanced nations, such as Norway, is now looking to attract digital nomads and introduce a digital nomad visa. In the immigration system, digital nomads have been excluded for many years, so they were literally invisible to the system. They were not able to apply for different programs, they were not able to achieve some tax benefits, or their status was not regulated for tax purposes, so they usually needed to find very creative ways either to extend their stay in certain countries or how they will become tax resident, how they will legally pay taxes in many countries. But the era of COVID, or post-COVID era, definitely brought one of benefits for digital nomads, because many countries realized what does it actually means not having that amount of people contributing to their economy. So they decided to introduce special digital nomad programs in order to attract more digital nomads and remote workers. It is also evident that the businesses of many digital nomads flourished during and after COVID. This permitted them to seek a temporary settlement in areas with greater and, in some circumstances, ultra-high costs of living. So it pushed the bar from considering digital nomads very, flip-floppers, going to very cheap places, to they're now seeking to more high net worth places. The new Costa Rica Nomad Visa intends to eliminate the inconveniences of repeated border run among expats. The Digital Nomad Visa is valid for 1 year. That visa is renewable and requires a monthly income of at least $3,000 to obtain. In addition to pura vida lifestyle, laid-back beaches, and throbbing nightlife, this visa gives a tax-free foreign income, waived import taxes on work equipment, and the ability to drive with your home country's driver's license, which is not permitted to visitors or residents. Since the introduction of Barbados welcome stamp in 2020, Barbados has been one of the most popular places for digital nomads seeking more opulent amenities. To qualify for this visa, an applicant must establish a 12-month projected income of at least $50,000. And you can demonstrate that income with employment contracts, agreement with clients, different ways. During 12 months of this visa, there won't be any income tax levied. The applications for this visa can be submitted entirely remotely via a website portal, and it's normally approved within a couple of days, so maximum 7. Similar to this visa is Dominica's Digital Nomad Visa, often known as Work in Nature. This visa is valid for 18 months and includes different tax benefits. The most important difference is in application fees. So application fees for Barbados are $2,000, while for Dominica, $800. And also obviously cost of living. So Dominica is 30% cheaper comparing to Barbados. The Cayman Island Digital Nomad Visa, called the Global Citizen Concierge Program, is primarily targeting digital nomads and remote professionals with greater financial resources. And applicants must demonstrate that their annual global income is at least $100,000 for an individual and slightly more for couples and families. The Cayman Islands are the second most costly places in the world to live, but that part is more than compensated by the absence of taxes. The Bahamas Extended Access Travel Stay Visa enables you to stay there for 3 years, and it also falls into the same category of looking for a more wealthier expat. We have been speaking about Bahamas a lot during our conference, and we have multiple team members that have spent some of the time in Bahamas. So if you would like to hear more about their experience in living in Bahamas, make sure that you leave comments below, and we'll glad to prepare you a video on that topic. In Central America and the Caribbean region, there are other nations that provide digital nomads visa, including Curacao, Belize, Antigua and Barbuda, Anguilla, and St. Lucia. So St. Lucia is interestingly the only country that does not require evidence of income, and it just requires $75 of application fees. The most popular visa in Europe, I believe, currently is Portuguese D7 visa. Although initially intended to encourage digital nomads and remote professionals, Portuguese nationalities quickly learned that this visa option is frequently utilized as a less expensive alternative to Golden Visa program. Despite the fact that most of the requirements still haven't changed, we're seeing that the process in embassies is taking a lot of time, so there are long waiting lists in embassies to apply for this visa. Portuguese authorities are also constantly adding more and more things on the list of documents required to apply for this visa, which means that they are actually trying to discourage people with less amount of money, which this visa was originally made for, and basically further on promote Golden Visa, or at least only accept people that would pretty much qualify for both of those. So we speak a lot about Portugal here on this channel, and you will have a video of Jelena speaking about different ways to apply for Portugal residence, and also what is the best option based on our experience so far, as well as in which direction we see Portugal going further. Germany was one of the first nations to provide freelance visa. However, it is the visa that requires extensive work and documentation. To obtain this visa, an applicant must provide a CV, portfolio, letters of recommendation, agreements, letters of intent, lease agreements, tax ID, and many more. So this option is not typically utilized by digital nomads due to high documentation and requirements and very lengthy process. However, this alternative might grow more popular in coming years, particularly among crypto investors, as Germany does not have long-term capital gains on cryptocurrencies. The Greek Golden Visa is part of a package designed to generate interest in Greece. Greece had one of the most successful Golden Visa programs in the European Union, but Portuguese Golden Visa and Maltese Citizenship by Investment program rapidly dethroned it, and in Cyprus until it was cancelled. In an effort to attract not only more digital nomads, but also wealthy people with flat taxation and retirees, Greece has introduced Digital Nomad Visa and a variety of tax advantages. The Greek Digital Nomad Visa is valid for 1 year, is renewable, and requires a monthly income of at least 3,500 euros to obtain it. Greece provides a variety of lifestyle options ranging from cosmopolitan city of Athens and the opulent islands of Mykonos to rural areas that are far more affordable. Due to advantageous tax system, English-speaking population, and really foreign-friendly legislation, Malta has become particularly popular and attractive destination for digital nomads. The Nomad Residence Permit as it is formally known, requires a monthly income of 2,700 euros to be obtained. In addition, a program gives zero income tax responsibility for 1 year, even if you spend more than 183 days in Malta, as long as you hold tax residence in your home country. I recently visited Malta and I can confirm that 5G coverage is available everywhere. The cost of living in Malta are really not extensive, but I heard a number of residents grumble that rents in a very popular area, Valletta and Sielma and San Giuliani, can reach several thousand of euros. Similar is the recently launched Croatian Digital Nomad Visa, which requires a proof of monthly income of 2,700 euros, and it's valid for 1 year. A recently launched Croatian Digital Nomad Visa requires a proof of monthly income of 2,730 euros, is valid for 1 year. It's also gaining really on popularity because digital nomads who operate in Croatia for the first year but have a tax residence somewhere else are exempt from Croatian taxes. However, for those who do not have tax residence, things might get a bit complicated, and it's really worth working closely with a tax advisor to structure this properly. Currently, digital nomads can choose from more than 50 alternatives specially designed for them, and many more nations are working on making legal protection for them. There seems to be a lot of unresolved ideas in the plan of some countries, such as Brazil, and more work needs to be done to clarify their plans. While many of options available at the moment provide different tax breaks for digital nomads, we will always advise really being on a safe side and not only moving or relocating to that country, applying for digital nomads, but you really need to be looking into what kind of income is exempt, especially if you do have companies, how to structure that properly, not to trigger some other rules that those countries might have, such as permanent establishment rules for your company, or CFC rules if bigger companies are involved. Here at Nomad Capitalist, we have an entire strategy, operation, and research team that are well versed in digital nomad visa. So if you would like to check some other options, you can check our website or apply to work with us at nomadcapitalist.com.